Xander got it done last week at the PGA Championship, but we are right back heading down to Texas for the Charles Schwab Challenge at the redesigned, redone, completely all new sod, everything Colonial Country Club. Here we go. It is 555 podcast brought to you by DFS Army. Let's go. What up, everybody? It's your boy DFS Up North here with another DFS Army PGA podcast for the Charles Schwab Challenge. We are at Colonial down just outside of Dallas and Fort Worth, Texas. I'm going to tell you my 5 key stats or 5 key narratives, 5 favorite plays and 5 punts to help you take down a GPP this week. If you are not a DFS Army subscriber, you can use that code UPNORTH. That gets you 10% off for life. And if you are not, you know, this is always free, but I've got the goods for you in the DFS Army cheat sheet. We got the research station, the domination station, all of that comes with a VIP membership. So this is going to continue to be free for you guys as long as you continue to hit like, subscribe, comment. We get those views. We can keep this free. But if you want to become a DFS Army VIP, like I said, use that code UPNORTH. Or if you just want to check it out, maybe you want to check out our MLB content. My boy Raz over there crushing it. All of the guys in MLB. If you have never been a DFS Army subscriber, you can get a free week of MLB only. You just log in, go to dfsarmy.com, get free, use the promo code FREEMLB. You get 1 free week of all of our MLB tools to help you guys take down a GPP or some cash games or whatever you are into. So use that code FREEMLB. But let's get to it. Like I said, PGA Championship last week, Xander got it done, hung on, played great on Sunday. That putt was a little bit iffy heading into the 18th hole, but he made it. And he gets his first major, which I'm super excited about. Can't wait to see him on Live next week, though his dad says that is not going to happen. But it seems like every time somebody wins a major, they get a new Live team. So we'll see what ends up happening there, but it was a great week. I have been coming around on Bryson. I kind of like him now. It's weird, but he's seems to have matured a little bit. And I think it's more fun when he is in the mix. So outside of Bryson, not a great week for the Live guys. Dean Burmeister played okay, but everybody else was sort of ho-hum. We had the craziness with Scotty. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but wild. Like I remember I just woke up on Friday morning. I just didn't know what to think. But this week we are at Colonial in one of the most aggressive redesigns I've ever seen. So last year's event, Emiliano Grillo sunk the winning putt, and literally as he's getting the trophy, they are starting to tear up this course. They took every piece of grass out. They redesigned a lot of the holes, it was a Gilhans redesign. What they did was they looked at a program from the 1941 Colonial Golf Tournament and tried to recreate what the course looked like back then. And I think they did a really nice job. I'm excited to see it this week, but they usually these things take 2 years. 18 months. They got this thing done in 12 months. They had 600 trucks of sod come in. They resodded everything before the winter. Got it done. I think I read on November 1st. And the course looks really good. All right. I'm excited. It's going to route more similar to what it looked like. The edges aren't as sharp. The course, the heart of the course, like I say here, is going to be very much the same. The tight tree line fairways, what you are used to, but the green complexes are going to be a little bit different. They flip some holes. They move some holes closer to the water to bring in some bigger numbers potentially. I do actually think the course might play a touch easier just because the rough's not super grown up. They've eliminated some bunkers. You're going to be able to run the ball up a little bit better on some of these holes because the greens aren't as elevated. But yeah, I am excited to see how the course plays this week. I love old architecture. I love old golf courses like this. They tend to produce some pretty good tournaments. That's why they've, been around forever. So Colonial has always been one of my favorites. And it's going to be fun this week. Like I said, tree line fairways, you got to get it in the fairway here. The rough is not terrible. It's a little bit patchy because of the winter that they had in Texas, but so it's not going to be like super thick. But it'll be interesting. To hold these greens, the greens are brand new, right? And so what we see typically with brand new greens greens is that they are very hard. They're going to be bouncy. They're not going to receive the ball as well as maybe they have in the past. So you want to be in the fairway to be able to get some spin on your ball and hold these greens. The greens are bent grass. That's not a common thing in Texas. But the guy who built this course wanted greens that were similar to what they have in the Northeast where he came from. And that's why we've been playing bent grass greens here forever. One thing to note this week is that there is going to be a ton of wind. Right now, as of this recording, Tuesday afternoon, it looks like there's going to be a pretty heavy AM PM advantage to the wind. It's going to be windy, but the heaviest wind is going to be on Thursday afternoon and Friday morning. So when we get tee times here shortly, we're going to want to look at guys who are, looking at potentially playing in that AM wave on Thursday and the PM wave on Friday. Usually we get the more studs in that wave than the other way around, but we'll see. All right. So if that's something that you want to keep track of, again, you can do that on your own. But if you are in the DFS Army Discord, which you have to become a DFS Army VIP to do, again, use that code up north, 10% off. You can, I will be updating you guys and talking a little bit about that, because that could potentially change some of my core plays and where I'm going and things like that. Like I said, the fifth point here is I do think this course plays a little bit easier. I think we see a minus 20, 25, somewhere in that range for the win this week. But I don't know. I'm not going to get on my high horse and talk about it here, but I don't really care if a course plays at minus 25, even if it's a major. It doesn't bother me. I love to see these guys struggle. But at the end of the day, you have to play what the course in front of you presents. And last week, the course presented, you got to make birdies, right? So again, that's part of golf. You got to play what's there. As you know, and again, the weather and things like that you have no control over play a massive role in this. So people who get all fired up about it, like, they just don't have anything better to talk about on Twitter. So my 5 favorite plays this week, I am going right on back to Colin Morikawa. Really should have been in the mix to win last week. Had a tough Sunday, man. Just couldn't putt. So I am right back to him here. He's played super well here over the years, pretty consistently played this event. I like he's a classic golf course type of player, it seems. So I'm high on Colin Morikawa this week, mostly because there's no reason that he should be $2,300 less than Scottie Scheffler. I love Scheffler. Don't get me wrong. He played outstanding last week, given the circumstances. Obviously, Friday, he just kind of went out there and played golf and hadn't had a chance to think about it or really even probably talk to his wife. Scottie the Felon is, we saw that, struggled a bit on Saturday. Scottie's at home now. He's probably staying in his own house here. This is a course that he's crushed over the years. I think you pay up for him in some. My preferred play is to start with Cullen this week, but I will have, if let's say I'm building 20 lineups, and obviously I'm going to build more than that, but let's say I'm building 20 lineups, I'm probably going to have 5 with Scottie. All right, 25%, which should be about field average. Another guy that I love, especially because I think that short game is going to play a big role this week, is Minwoo Lee. We saw him chip in 3 times last Saturday, which is wild. But his length, he's going to be able to club down here, find some fairways. Played well here in his debut last year. Love him. I do not know why I have Benny on listed here. When I was building this, I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to leave Sung Jae in the 5 spot, and I'll write Harris English here. And then I got busy, and I apparently just left Benny on. He is not playing this week. That is supposed to say Sung Jae Im. That's not like a dig at the Koreans. I got lost when I was doing it this week. So I love Sung Jae Im this week. Guy's just been playing outstanding golf. I'm going right back to him. Putter just got cold last week, so I'll take the low ownership on Sung Jae. And then Harris English. Harris English is really starting to come back into form. He obviously dealt with an injury. Struggle bus last fall. Really had a hard time even starting the spring, but he's on a long cut streak. Has some good history here. I think that Harris English at $9,000 is cash viable even. So I really like Harris this week. And he's a guy that I'm going to find in a lot of my, Colin Morikawa built lineups. All right. So if you are going to play Scottie, or even if you're going to play Colin, if you want to play some good guys, you got to play some punts. The first guy that just jumped off the board for me this week was Lee Hodges. The guy's been on absolute fire. 12th last week at the PGA. He's been playing some great golf. At 7,200, he is a lock and load play for me. Nico Echevarria, not even sure I'm saying that right, but just won the U.S. Open qualifier in Dallas this week. So obviously his game's playing pretty well, or he's playing pretty well, won by a couple of strokes. Actually, he's 5,700. He has missed the cut at Myrtle, which is not a great result, obviously, but before that had back-to-back top 15 finishes. So the guy's got game, and at 5,700, I think that we can jump all over him here. Alex Smalley's game is starting to come back around. 6,700 on DraftKings, 8,400 on Fanduel. The guy is an elite ball striker. Again, we talk about you get in the fairways here. You got to be an elite ball striker and to hold these greens. I think this course really suits him. His game is starting, like I said, starting to come around. Dougie Gim Chi, my boy. Again, another good ball striker, too cheap, just playing well. And then Justin Lauer, who's again another guy who's been playing just high end result. He's getting it done with the putter. He's getting it done with the irons. The off tee game's okay. It's not going to be a big issue this week because length isn't that big of a deal. Obviously, I think it helps here. We've seen guys that are bombers like Tony Finau, guys like that who have been able to club down and find more fairways here. That helps. But love Justin Lauer this week. I actually have two guys that are in that like 7.5 to 8.5K range that I love this week. Actually, take that back. Three guys I love this week in that range that I'm going to be all over, but I'm saving that for the VIPs. I can't give all that information out here. So if you are a DFS Army VIP, you can check my core plays, which I have 5 of this week, which is a little surprising. Usually I keep it to 4, but 5 core plays this week, and a couple of those guys are right in there for that balance build, which I think is the way to attack this week, unless you're going to go Scotty, which I think you got to allocate about 25% of your MME too. All right. So that's what we got for you guys this week. This has been the DFS Army 555 PGA podcast. If you comment below and tell me who you think is going to win this week, I will highlight you on next week's video. Let's go. Charles Schwab. Hard to say that, man. Charles Schwab Challenge, Colonial, classic golf course, Hogan's Alley. Let's go.